Welcome to the Excel Executive. Today we will be talking about number format, which basically in Excel means that how a number appears. So what happens is that this is basically a very simple concept. But if you don't get it right from the get-go, you might run into problems in the future. So what happens in Excel is that a number remains a number all the time, but its appearance changes. So this was a confusing concept for me. And that is why I thought that I should make a dedicated video on it so that I can explain it early on what this concept is. So we're going to start right now. So we have a number and then how it appears. So what happens is that the number never changes. It's just that its appearance changes over time. So let's say I have a number, imaginary. I'm going to call it 5.7651. This is the number. And as you can see that it is a number because it is aligned on the right side as compared to these words which are aligned on the left. Anyways, so what happens is that I can change its appearance. So if I don't want the decimals, what I can do is I can just do this and it's gonna round it off. But as you can see in this window that the number stays the same. So if I again bring the decimals back, it's gonna be the same number. After this, yeah, you will have zeros. So in this case, this is the number without the decimals. If I just copy it and paste it here, you see the number still exists. So I'm just gonna increase the decimals, and here you can see that we have the whole amount, 5.7651. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this number to all of these, and then we will start making our changes. Let me start with percentage. So for the percentage, it's simple. It's just multiplying the number with 100. So if I change the format, and this pane is basically telling you the format that you are using. And if you want details on it, you can click this arrow and you will have this whole box with all the different formats available in Excel. So let's say we're talking about percentage. I'm going to click that and click OK, and it will multiply it with 100. It's still the same number basically. So if I change it back, here it says percentage. If I change it back to a number, it's going to change it back to the same number that we had, 5.7651. Same thing. The next one is currency. So if I go here and if I change it, go to number, go to currency, go to dollars, click OK. It's just going to put the dollar sign in front of it. The number is going to stay the same. It's not going to change. Next is what I'm saying, color. So what happens is that Excel has options that if a number is negative, it can turn it into red or some other color as per your liking, and you can do different things with it. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy it here, paste it, and then if you go here, now these are the different categories that you can use. So we have talked about the general, which is basically what we typed in. This is a number with decimal places, and you can also have a thousand separator. So I mean it's 5.765, so it's not going to work out here. But if we have amounts in hundreds of thousands or in millions, then you can use this. Let me show you. So let's say I have 157,230. So if I go here, go to number, and use the thousand separator, and it says that it will have 2 decimal places. I don't want any, so I'm just going to change it to 0. Click OK, and it will add the comma as a thousand separator. That is what this is. So back to colored. Here I go in here again, and you can choose different formats from these options, or you can go to custom and you have these options. Plus, you have the option to type the format as well. So let me show you the colored one first. Let's see, let's take this one. So it says that, yeah, and this lingo is a bit difficult, but over time you will be able to read it correctly. I will also explain it a bit as well. So it says that if it's a positive number, it's gonna stay the same font color. If it's a negative number, it's gonna turn into red, and if it's a 0, it's gonna have the same number again. So if I say OK, so it becomes a whole number, and if I change it to a negative number, then the font color is gonna change, as you can see. Now, it's not that the color is only for negative numbers. You can have it for positive numbers as well. So let's try that. So when I selected this, it got here as well, and here I can type stuff as well. So for negative numbers it says red. Let's say for the positive numbers I want blue. So I'm just gonna type blue before the positive numbers. Oh, my bad. And click OK. And now you see that it has turned into blue. And if I change it into a negative number, it's going to turn into red again. So that is colored. Next are dates. So I will make a separate video for dates, as the concept is a bit more complicated. But for now, what happens is that this number changes into dates. So if I say 42,112, let's say, and I change it into a date, it has changed into 18th. This is April, I think, 18th April 2015. Now, what is happening here, I will explain it in a separate video, most probably the next one. And the same goes for time. So I go here and I change it from date to time and click OK. So it will say 12 a.m. That is the default value, and you can change it. But what happens here in Excel is that the time is not shown as a separate entity. As you can see here, the time is linked with a specific day, and that is used because in Excel you would like to calculate the number of days between two dates, and also the time between two times or two dates or timestamps. So for that, Excel is supposed to do it in this manner. And of course, if I change it back to a number, it's gonna be the same number that I typed in, 42,112. Now, of course, this might be a bit confusing, so don't worry about the dates. We will do it in the next video. So let's see what else is there. Yeah, one more thing worth noting. So you see these pound signs or hashtags. So what happens is that sometimes people require leading zeros in their format. So let me give you an example. So you have 1 and 2 and 3. Let's drag it so that we have values till, let's say, 15. So you have 1 to 15. Now what you would like is that you want a leading zero before these numbers, so that you have 2 digits in every cell. So what I will do is that I will select it, I will go to the format, go to custom, and let's select this one. So a 0 means that they will put a 0 if there is no number there. A pound means that if there is a number, then they will show that number, and if there is no number, then they will just skip it. Let me show you by showing you an example. So here I need a leading zero. So against this pound sign, I'm going to type 0 and click OK. So now we have leading zeros for these numbers as well. So we have 2 digits in each and every cell. So that is basically the concept. So let me select that again. Go back to number. Go to the top. Select this again and click OK. And see, they're gone. So that is why you see these pound signs here. So if, let's say, I remove these, it's not going to have any effect. But if I add zeros, let's say here, let's say we have 2 zeros. Click OK. Same thing. So the difference is that if you type in a 0, then it will show you a 0 if there is no number in that place. But if there is a number, so in the case of 10, 11, 12, it will show that number. But if you have a pound sign, then it will show a number if there is an actual number here, which are these, so 10, 11, 12. But if there is no number, then they're not going to show that. There won't be any leading zeros. And there are also some other advanced formatting options that you can learn later on. So the basic concept is that the number stays the same. It never changes. Only its appearance changes. This should be kept in mind at all times. Even if that number is recorded as a number, as a percentage, as a currency, colored is, it's just changing the color, the font color. Even if it's a date or time or anything else, the number that you record will stay the same. Let me try this one more time just to clarify it. So let's say I have typed in the number 6 and I change it to, let's say, dollars. So I go here and I change it to dollars. So it says it's $6. Okay, I'm going to change it to some other currency. If I can find, let's say, the pound sterlings. So, or euros would be nice. So let's see. We have pounds. Now remember that we had typed 6. So when I selected pounds, it's still 6 pounds. It didn't convert it. Excel is not going to do that. It is just the appearance of the number. So if you have a table, let's say we have some random values here. Let's say random values from 4 to 10, right? And I'm just gonna paste values so that they don't change every time I press enter. So, and one more thing, you can copy this format by using this brush. So if I select the cell, choose this, and then select all these cells, it's gonna copy the format. One thing that I want to say here is that if I do the total, it says 115 pounds. Now if I change the format from pounds back to dollars, it's not going to convert it. It's still going to say 115. Before it was saying pounds, and when I change it, it's just going to say dollars. And it looks weird that the sum is still saying 115 pounds, despite the fact that it is totaling these cells, as you can see. So what I'm supposed to do is that I can just copy the format and click here, and we're good to go. So I'm going to repeat it one more time. Whatever number is typed in a cell, that number never changes. you can change the format, and it looks a bit weird. I agree that it can, yeah, I mean, a number and a decimal, that looks fine. A percentage, it just changes. So I just click this and it says 577%, but it's still the same number. Currency, still the same number. You change this number to a date. So yeah, you might be a bit confused that here I typed 42,112. That's why it's looking a bit funny. So let me do it on this. So I'm just going to go here, change it to a date, and as you can see, it changed. But again, it says that it's 5th of Jan, 1900, 6:21 p.m. and 45 seconds. How did he come up with that? Yeah, that is for the next video, like I said before. But it's still the same number. If I change it back to a number, we're back to 5.7651. I think that is all for today. Please do all the good things. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. I don't know where the picture is, but still, thank you for watching.